everybody. It's Mickie Giacomini, your host of Let's Talk Shop. And I'm so excited because we have so many great guests this year for 2020. Woohoo! So exciting. So right now, for the month of January, we are focusing on starting the year off right with both body and business. And today, I've got this amazing guest, Teresa Erwin-Jones, and she's here. She's going to give you so many great tips on taxes. Yeah, because believe it or not, it's never too early to get ready for your taxes. And if you're like a lot of us, who own businesses and so forth, you can always use all the tips you can get, right? So let's bring her on. Teresa, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you're here. It's so exciting. And I know that you've got some really great tips ready to go for us. So first of all, do you want to give us a little background for how you got into this?
Yeah, well, actually, it's kind of a funny story. I went to school originally for political science because I thought I wanted to be a politician like my father was. But it didn't kind of work out that way. I needed to get into the workforce a lot quicker. And accounting just kind of came naturally to me. I like numbers, and numbers like me back. So, you know, it was a good match. But I was 23 years old, and I was getting a divorce, and I wanted to buy my own house, which at the time 23-year-olds just did not buy their own house, but you know, I was always a little bit different. So I decided that I could do this if my cousin would sign on the lease with me. He was gay, so chances of him getting married and having children were like none. And this was back in the day when they didn't get married. So, you know, the chances are that he was going to be single for a very long time. So I talked him into it. And one of the things I told him was, hey, I think that because he made a ton of money, he was an engineer. And at the time, I was an accounting clerk. So I said, hey, I think if you sign on the paperwork with me, I said, I think we can split the property taxes and the mortgage interest. And you can itemize now instead of doing the standard deduction. And that will save you money too. Mm-hmm. So he was my, you know, he and I were very close. We grew up together. So he was like, okay, sounds good. That's how I got started doing taxes. The first year I split, I did my tax return, and sure enough, you know, I was able to zero my tax liability out really fast, and I had a ton left over in mortgage interest and property taxes that I put on his tax return. So for the first time ever, my cousin Al got a big refund, and of course he told everybody in his office. Mm-hmm. And next thing I know is I've got all of his buddies calling me and saying, hey, you know, can you help me out with my taxes? I've always been very creative, and that's always been, you know, a plus. And I like my clients. I get along well with them. My mom used to say that I didn't have any clients. I had a bunch of friends that, you know, told me to do their taxes. And so that. And I think it's that creativity that has always drawn people to me. Okay, I have clients that, for example, like to go fishing. Okay, and one day, this couple was having this argument in my office about, you know, a boat, and she was like, "No, you can't buy that big expensive boat." And so I said, "Hey, Kelly. If I can tell you how to write off the boat and actually save, you know, tax money, because Scott made a lot of money. He made almost, you know, $400,000 a year every year. Wow. Okay? Yes, I go, and you know, we're looking for some write-offs. So sure enough, she agreed that if I could do that, so I did. I set him up on a partnership. I said, hey, all your buddies, instead of you guys now going for free, chip in, you know. Charge him a fee, and to take him out. And sure enough, that's what he did. And lo and behold, voila, we were in business. Now we're depreciating this huge boat, and saved Scott and Kelly about $25,000 a year. And they did that for, I would say, probably about 7 or 8 years.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's part of it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey.
So that was one of my fortes. I would tell clients, okay, you know, you have this hobby. Let's turn it into a business.
Right.
You know? It was something they loved doing anyway. So they were always happy to do so. And
fantastic. Just don't let my husband start talking to you about a boat.
Well, you know, if it saves you money, Mickie.
I know. Well, speaking of,
you got the boat for free by the time we were done.
now then you might be talking. So speaking of saving money, I know you've got some great tips for all our viewers. So what kind of tips do you have for people to be thinking of right now as they are actually right around the corner from tax season?
Well, the things have changed, okay, and they've changed drastically over the years. And right now, where even people in areas where housing was not as expensive as it is, like say California, they're no longer able to itemize. And employee reimbursements is no longer possible. People that had sales jobs, they were able to write off mileage on their car and meals and entertainment. That no longer exists. So
it's awful. I'm a Californian, and that does affect me, actually, and it's frustrating to no end.
Exactly. So what I tell people is, hey, you know, now is the time to have a little side business. You know, you can turn that side business into tax savings, especially if it's something that you enjoy doing anyway. Like for myself, even I do it. I don't know if you've seen on my page, but I do ketones. And part of the reason is because of that. First of all, if I'm going to drink them and they are going to, and they have done me a ton of good, okay, then the best way to get the product is to sign up as a promoter and get a discount, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, now I can go further than that, okay? Because now anytime I go, you know, to see one of my clients that also drinks ketones, or a friend of mine or a family member, you know, that is also, you know, I'll either talk to them about it or they're actually drinking now. So I can now write off that visit too, you know? And I've even taken vacations and attached them to events that are going on. That right now, having a little side business is really a tax saving gold mine. It is the best way to lower your taxes. If you just have a W-2 job and you own your home and you're not living in California, guess what? You're going to be paying a lot of tax.
So you're basically saying we're SOL, those of us who are in California.
Well, yeah, basically.
No, I think even here it's really beneficial for us to have our side businesses as well. And that's why a lot of people don't realize I work a full on-time job, but then I have my consulting business, and then we also own another business as well. So we do that intentionally for pretty much the same reason that you're speaking of, so that we can have those tax write-offs.
Well, and most people think, like, for example, about the usual write-offs that you can get. Okay, I can write off my car, I can write off part of my home, but there's actually more that you can do with it. Okay, I have a client that wanted to invest in putting in some containers into a business. He has a shopping center and he has extra space. So he thought, you know what, I'm going to buy some shipping containers and I'm going to put them down and rent them out of storage. And I went, that's a great idea. I said, yeah. So I said, why don't you go ahead and come up with how much of this is going to cost? Well, he said it was going to be about $200,000. And I went, okay, well, you know what? I said, we can take part of your 401k plan and do what's called a solo 401k, and we can borrow the money out of there and to buy the containers.
Oh, that's genius.
Right? Uh-huh.
Wow.
So there's so many things that you can do. Even with small businesses. Like for example, I can it takes paperwork and you have to follow the rules. But did you know that you can rent out your house to your own corporation 14 days a year tax free?
I did know that, but I haven't done it yet.
I have a client who lives in Laguna in California. His house rents out for about $6,000 a day.
Nice.
So 6 times 14 is what he gets, tax free. You know, and I always hear people getting upset with rich people. You know, oh well, the rich get all the bricks. No, they don't, because you know what? You can do that with your house too. You're not going to get $6,000 a day, but you know what? You're probably not making $900,000 a year like he is. You know,
right,
so,
right.
Yeah, so things are relative.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Right.
So
and he would be paying a lot more taxes too. Just saying.
Exactly.
Right.
And there's quite a few other rules like that that we can put into work and have people save taxes. But these are not things that are done post the tax year. For example, once you go do your taxes, that's not the time for you to say, oh, by the way, can you apply the Augusta rule? And because any good tax accountant is going to go, no, because you were supposed to do that at the beginning of last year.
Right.
So so now is the time. If tax planning and tax strategy is something that needs to be incorporated early on in the year. Okay.
Agreed.
You can do it at any time, but if you really want to take advantage, now is the time.
Right.
January is the time to do it. And let's face it, in reality, nobody wants to think of it in January, but nobody wants to think of it in February, March, April, May, and throughout December.
They never want to think about it, but they need to.
That's what I tell people when they tell me that. It's like, oh, I hate it. Yeah, doesn't matter. It's like me in the gym. Okay, I don't want to go. But you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm never going to want to go, so I might as well not want to go today.
Right. Well, I do know that my husband would love to know how we can write off a swimming pool in California.
Well, tell him to give me a buzz.
I will. Sounds great. Now, since it's the beginning of the year, a lot of people, as you know, oftentimes have all these resolutions that they're trying to do. And I personally am not a resolution person. I'm just a very goal-oriented person. I like to set goals for myself and have a plan to reach them. Okay? Kind of the same thing, but not, in my humble opinion. So speaking of goals, when we look at it that way, do you have any goals for yourself for this year, Teresa?
Well, I'm actually, I'm not a resolution person either. Okay, and mainly because for years I made resolutions like everybody else did. Oh, this year I'm going to lose weight. This year I'm going to start going to the gym. And the clock hadn't hit midnight on the 1st, and I was breaking that one. So I finally decided, no, forget it. But 2.5 years ago, I was sitting at Dr. Siddiqui's office, and he was telling me how I was on the road to being pre-diabetic. Okay.
Yeah.
And that did not sound good to me, because he said diabetic. I heard I'm going to chop parts off of you, and that that was not good. So I finally decided, I just have to do something about this. And that's when I was introduced to the keto diet. Okay. Yes, but apparently my body sucks, okay, because it doesn't want to go into ketosis the way other people says. Doesn't matter. I try really hard to follow the little macro. They count. Come on, I can follow a formula, right? Yeah. But food doesn't come in formulas, so it's very difficult to actually eat the way that you're supposed to eat. The majority of people are actually eating just low carb, not really doing a keto diet, because, like I said, it's very difficult to follow. So somebody else introduced me to ketones, And that's what I do is I drink ketones now. One in the morning, one in the evening. And guess what? I have lost 70 pounds.
70 pounds?
70 pounds. Yeah, I would have
Oh
been.
my gosh, in 2 years?
Actually, I lost the way that I did them because my mom kept telling me, "You're gonna look like a prune," and because I'm 58 years old, and I was like, "Ooh," she says, "You shouldn't write about stuff like that." Oh, I hate that. Anyway, so what I did was I decided I was gonna lose them in blocks. Okay.
Okay.
So I lost 30 pounds first, then I lost another 30, and then I'm working right now on the last 30. So
Wow.
I got 20 more to go. And so that's why it's taken me 2 years. You can on keto, it's really easy to just dump weight really fast, but at my age, I didn't think that was very wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that they always say, the doctors and scientists have proven that when you do it slow and steady, you tend to keep it off then. So it becomes a lifestyle.
I started losing weight. I've never gained any of it back. I've never gained a pound. And this is all stuff I'm not good at. Okay, 'cause I love food. I mean, if you look at my profile, you'll see all the food. I like good, rich food. Okay, so and it was really hard to think of, eating lettuce, and I was like, no. So keto has been good for me, and drinking ketones has really helped. Has really made a big difference. It also gives you a lot of energy, which come tax season, I need a lot of energy.
I bet you do. I was wondering how you feel. So if you feel energetic or sluggish.
No, very energetic. But I'm a very energy person anyway. But I had I was starting to feel really sluggish, which was really odd for me. So that was my first clue that there was something was not absolutely right, Yeah, and when it comes to our business, I'm the one that handles the majority of the tax work. I don't do it all by myself, but I do get my hands on every single tax return that passes through the office, and I do the majority of the tax planning. And right now I'm working on a tax resolution, a do-it-yourself tax resolution system, because there are so many people that owe back taxes, and it's so expensive to get it fixed. So, for you to hire somebody to do tax resolution for you, the minimum is $5,000. And the average cost of a tax resolution is $10,000.
So wow.
Yes. So you know what? And I don't really care to do tax resolutions so much. Yeah. So I thought, why don't I just do the forms, and which is what people can't do themselves. Okay, that's what it's because they get the forms done wrong. So why don't I do the forms? Charge people, 10% of what it would cost them to go have somebody else, do the whole resolution for them, and let them argue their own case. As Rebecca, I find that people do best with the IRS agents when they talk about their own cases, because they're passionate about it, and they can sit and they can tell them what is wrong. Where they fail is not having the right forms.
Right. So I think that you've given me a great idea that maybe in the next few months we need to have a whole month devoted on Let's Talk Shop for DIY, all kinds of DIY.
I can fill up your calendar with taxes.
The Tax Talk Show.
Let's talk taxes.
Thank you so much, Teresa. It has been wonderful having you on, and we've got to have you back, because I know our fans, our viewers, our followers are going to definitely have a ton of questions for you. So, by the way, for those of you watching, we will have Teresa's information all in the description of this episode. So look for it right there, and you'll be able to contact her and get more information, because she is just loaded with knowledge about this. And I know you're going to really appreciate her insight. So again, thank you so much, Teresa.
Welcome. I'm always happy to answer any questions. So just give me a buzz.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.